All right, welcome back to Searley Set of Six, arguably the most satisfying episode we will do so far this season, that's for damn sure. 28 points to 12, our first win against the Panthers at home in 8 years. What a night it was on Friday night, and that basically rolls me into my tackle one. Full credit to the club. What a time it is to be a Warriors fan. Post-COVID, the last few years have been an absolute treat, and really, as Warriors fans, I reckon we should be so grateful. On and off the field, the club is doing amazing things. And for me, Friday night, that was a top 3 night at Mount Smart that I've experienced. The game, the build-up, the haka, the Indigenous jerseys, the halftime show, the post-game with the crowd singing the team song, players signing autographs, taking photos with the fans. The whole night was elite from top to bottom. And when you look at how far the club has come in such a short time, from that homecoming game post-COVID to where we're at now, it's pretty remarkable, man. Selling out games every week. Warriors tickets have become the hottest thing in town. The merch sells out within hours. Everywhere you go, you see people proudly ripping their Warriors kit in the streets. Up the Waz has become a part of the daily Kiwi vocabulary. And then when you go to a game, you're not just watching 80 minutes of footy. It's non-stop entertainment from the moment you get there. It almost feels like a cultural and entertainment experience and not just a game of sport. Then on the field, been a top 4 team for the large majority of the last 2 years. Webby and the lads took us to a prelim in 23. We're now in, third? Hot on the heels of the top 2. Just got a huge result against the most dominant NRL club in recent history. From the coaches and players through to the staff, everyone at the organisation deserves their flowers. And as a passionate fan who literally has Up the Waz tattooed on their body, it is such a special time to be supporting the club. The Pathways program that's in place, the NRLW side doing great things in year 2, the depth of our top side. I think we should just feel pretty privileged to be a part of this period, and fingers crossed it carries on and the lads can kick on, take us deep into finals, and we're there on October 4th. But either way, I think as fans we need to sit back and enjoy this one. I still see some people debating selections in the comments and taking shots at players that weren't even in the 19 on the weekend. But when you look at the Broncos, I think it's a pretty good reality check in terms of how crazily competitive this competition is. You can go from defending champs to 16th in the space of a year. We have been extremely consistent over the last 4 seasons, and this year it just seems like we're on the path to do something special. So I just wanted to kick things off with a bit of a shout out to the Waz in terms of the players, staff, and just the setup as a whole. As I said, that was one of the greatest nights I've had at Mount Smart Stadium. The result played a massive part in that and the quality of the performance, but also everything around it. As you're sitting in your seats, you recognise the same faces in the stands and you're just celebrating how strong our club is at the moment, and it's from top to bottom. It's taken a bloody long time to get here. But let's enjoy this period. It's a loud minority that is still finding negatives to pick out each time. We have ourselves a bloody good team. We have an organisation that's set up for success, and this isn't going to last forever. So let's enjoy the moment while we can. Producer Henry, bit of a rant there. Good to bring you in. How was your Friday night, mate? We watched the game together. That was pretty damn special.
Yeah, it was special. Well said, mate, by the way. I agree with a lot of those thoughts. I think, it's hard to nitpick some negatives out of the Warriors recently because it's been a lot more positive in recent years. We find ourselves days after the game thinking, that was the game that the Warriors would lose and blah, blah, blah. There's sort of that negative mindset of fans who have been fans for years, who have sort of lived and breathed the Warriors and understood the ups and downs of the club. But now it's almost like we're not sure how to act when we are going really well.
We still try to find flaws, right?
Yeah. So it's good to have some praise, and I agree with what you said. It's been great. It was awesome Friday night. Loved not only what the players did on the field, the Indigenous round. I think it was also helped that game was the Indigenous round and things like that. If it was at home on a Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock against the Eels or something, it may have felt a little bit different.
Big time.
But Friday night, Panthers, strong side, like where the Panthers are, where the Warriors are at the moment, it was elite, man. And I found myself just smiling, like looking around, like crowd was good. The atmosphere was good. I wouldn't say it was the best Warriors atmosphere I've been at. Still that 2023 game against the Knights at home was probably the best I've been at. But just the feeling of the fans around us, like people were chanting the whole game. Well, there was a couple of people around us that were pretty keen on chanting the whole game, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll touch on the field stuff. But yeah, I was incredibly impressed with the performance, incredibly impressed with the whole club, how it all worked out. Scribe even came out. It was not sure how much of a play that was, but yeah, no, it was awesome. And I echo a lot of the thoughts.
I think Scribe had a couple of tins, eh? He seemed a little bit all over.
Well, there was another guy with him as well.
Yeah, there was. The haka beforehand really did set the scene. And, geez, as the only Kiwi club, right, it only seemed fitting. Shout out to the Aussie lads out the back. It was cool to hear Mitch Barnett in the press conference talk about it, how Fish kind of gave them no option to be involved, but they wanted to be involved as well. Obviously, Indigenous round celebrating Māori heritage, but also the Warriors are probably the most culturally diverse club in the competition. I think it would be fair to say there's people from all parts of the world in our team, so it was great to celebrate not only that, but to have the Aussie lads involved too, and I think that really did set the scene. Like, people were blown away by that. It'll be interesting to see. I'm of the opinion, come finals footy time, I think we should roll that out again. If we have a home finals game week 1, and certainly if we have a home prelim final, I'll be going back to that. I think it certainly came through in the performance.
Would they be allowed to?
I think they are, yeah. As long as they kick off by the time the broadcast starts.
Which it didn't on the week.
No, it didn't, and I'm sure the NRL would have had a word. Normally they get fined for things like that, but I don't think they would fine the club for that one because it just ruins. Like, you got to have a bit of sense of occasion, right? It's interesting, like, they get fined if they dim the lights pre-kickoff for the run-out because the lights aren't up to full brightness yet. It affects the TV broadcast coverage. Really? Yeah, so you'd be surprised at what the club has to deal with. Like, every minute that they are past the kickoff time, they get fined for, basically, or they get warnings for. So there's a lot that goes into it. But I thought that set the stage for what was the start of an unreal night. The halftime show, brilliant. Afterwards, I don't know. I just feel like it's not only the hottest ticket in town because of the performance of the team, but everything going on around it. And I think everyone deserves their credit for that. Like, we have a heck of a footy side that we're going to touch on, but it really is a spectacle. There's been a lot of chat around taking the Warriors to Eden Park, in particular in Australia, and I had a bit of an argument with a TV show producer. I don't know if you saw Corey Parker chuck up that thing saying, you know, let's move the Warriors to Eden Park so that they can become the next Broncos or as big as the Broncos in terms of crowds and all that type of stuff. And I kind of went back to him. I'm all for the Eden Park move for certain games. I think it's going to pop off at Origin, right? It's going to be massive. When it comes to that Anzac game next year, I think that's cool too because it's a one-off occasion and you will get that sense of occasion that will pack out the stands. I think if we move to Eden Park, though, you would not replicate that atmosphere that you had on Friday night. Even if Eden Park was sold out, I think it would feel different. It's the proximity to the field. It's that cauldron feeling that Mount Smart has. I think you would lose a bit. And yes, you'd probably sell out that game. I think you would struggle to sell out games against lower ranked teams. I like that close, compact feel of Mount Smart. And I think that while the Warriors are really popping off at the moment, there's no doubt about that. I think if we do move from Mount Smart, I'd rather we upgrade that and take certain one-off games to Eden Park. Otherwise, I think the only other answer would be a Viaduct Stadium.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't take it full time there. Specific games, like you said, Kiwis games, and that's better suited for it. Like, I've spent a lot of time at Mount Smart in recent years, and then I spent some time at Eden Park, and you're right, there's a stark contrast. There's like a massive difference between the atmosphere, even with the bigger crowd. Like, you're further away from the field, it's less intense, the atmosphere, it's less loud because it's obviously further away. Fans are, the most passionate fans might be up in the nosebleeds, and it's a different atmosphere, right? Yeah, I think also I agree that you wouldn't sell it out. You wouldn't sell it out for the Eels at home and for the Panthers probably. I mean, there was 26 there on Friday night, some blue seats in and around that. So, but it was fully sold out. So you'd think maybe we would have got 30, 35 maybe.
35, yeah.
35 there, but that's still not selling out Eden Park. That's 13K less than what Eden Park holds, meaning you wouldn't sell out at Eden Park for a Panthers home game where we are at the moment on the table. And maybe people will say we would have got 48,000, but I don't think we would have. No. And so you'd have to think that it would be a pointless move. You'd be losing money when you can sell it out, better atmosphere. And if you think of Warriors games, yes, a lot of them have sold out over the last 2 years, maybe all of them, but it's not always fully sold out on game day, is it? No. It's not chock-a-block. There's maybe a couple of thousand not there. So
yeah, and I get that the club's missing out on revenue, but the sellout factor adds desperation, which adds to the occasion, right? When tickets go on sale to Warriors games, you have to buy them ASAP. You don't get that same need to buy straight away at Eden Park, and that leads people to not... Like, FOMO is a massive thing now. People just want to go to the game because they don't want to miss out on going to the game, whereas I think you lose that if you go to a 55,000-seater.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it's a no-brainer to stay at Mount Smart. I think it's a more discussion about if we can improve Mount Smart. I think Auckland FC would be keen to work with the Warriors and sort of to adjust that for maybe NRLW for games to make it more purpose-built. Maybe a stand behind that goal. And I don't know how successful the club have been with the bars behind, etc., and all of those game day experiences behind the goal. But I think they'd probably get more out of the stadium having an actual full-on stand there. So... Yeah, those are probably the discussions I'd be having rather than going to Eden Park.
Yeah, upgrade Mount Smart while we build a stadium with a roof in the city. That would be unreal.
Knock down both Mount Smart and Eden Park and make an absolute beauty of a stadium.
I'll be all for that. We need somewhere to play, though, in the meantime. So build the stadium. Knock down Eden Park, build the stadium, and we play at Mount Smart until that's ready.
Correct.
And then we move across and we have like a centre of excellence, everything. That would be so safe otherwise. All about that. Tackle 2, let's talk some footy. This game to me proved that we are the real deal. I know a lot of people are saying the same sentiment, but this was a real hit in terms of a massive pump up of confidence to know that we belong with the best teams in the competition. It was interesting. Was lucky enough to be on the field after the game, talking to a few of the boys. Had a quick yarn with Dallin, who said that Bulldogs game was the best thing that could have happened to this team. And he said it was the perfect wake-up call. And he is so confident that will never happen again, and said that will be the turning point of the season. Hearing the players talk about that fills you with confidence. And what we saw on the weekend shows that this team is set to go to another level. When you look at our side now, we are so balanced. We have this dominant forward pack. We have half depth where it doesn't matter if we lose. Our starting 7 in the last rep of the final training session before captain's run, because that is when Tomato went down. The very last rep on the Wednesday training, Metcalf hadn't trained with this team the whole week until captain's run. He was playing the defensive role, basically imitating Nathan Cleary for the whole lead up to this game. He slots in, pulls out the performance that he did, but it wouldn't matter if it was Tanner Boyd or Tomato Martin. We've seen them all play exceptional in the 7 jersey, so we have the system now where guys can come in and put in world-class performances. We have X-Factor and strike out wide, and then defensively we held the best team in the comp to 12 points. We have leadership on and off the field. We have a bloke who was the form forward in the NRL, who was set to come back for finals after injury. He was literally second on the Dally M when it went to behind closed doors, and he's still to come back. This was a statement not only to the rest of the competition, but it's also validation for our playing group and coaching staff to know that if we rock up and play our best, like we did for 70 minutes of this game, we can beat anyone. And from the outset, you could see we were up for it, right? Like, it had a finals footy intensity about us, or we did anyway. I actually think the Panthers missed the jump. But that very first set, opening kickoff of the game, To'o carries, he gets driven back. Moses Leota then carries, he gets driven back. We force them into a kick on bad field position. Dallin winds up, first carry, gets absolutely folded. But at the same time, that kind of sets a tone too. When you see your winger screaming at full speed into 2 middles, Freddie Lussick got him a doozy, and I was surprised that it was Freddie. But at the same time, that lifts you too, because you're like, holy shit, if he's going to do that, and I go as well. I feel like we were physical on attack and D. We won the contact on both sides of the ball game. And if we have that intent come finals, good luck beating us, especially if we are at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think people have been talking about the Panthers being behind the 8 ball. And while I agree, they were behind the 8 ball, they weren't up to scratch. I think we forced them to actually not be up to scratch.
100%.
I think our defense was exceptional, 12 points. I mean, yes, they probably could have millimeters, should have had maybe 18 points, and it would have been a completely different game we're talking about.
Then it would have got interesting.
And then we're probably having a completely different conversation, even though I think we may have still edged it and won that game. It would have been a different conversation, only winning by 6 points and having that extra 5-minute period of worry. But I think a lot of what the Panthers didn't do well was based off what we were doing well. So I think we deserve a lot of credit defensively. Even on attack, I just thought we stifled them. We just stopped them from playing. Nathan Cleary, apart from one of the best 40-20s I think I've ever seen ever, especially in person. I think we just did well to stop them. Injured Isaiah Yo.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good performance from us, and I think we should be proud of that rather than looking at what the Panthers didn't do and who they didn't have because, I mean, Tamata Martin was out, Jackson Ford was out, Tanner
Well, that's
Boyd.
the thing, right? A lot of Panthers fans are saying, all good, we didn't have Dylan Edwards. There were guys that were missing.
Which is true.
From that performance. Isaiah Yo went off during the game. Mitch Kenny wasn't there, which is true, right? But again, we're still not at 100%. I think we would have bet them still if Yo stayed on the paddock because we were just dominant in that game. I think our line speed defensively was so impressive. That was the most intent I've seen us play with defensively in terms of just cutting down time and space, and not just for the first 2 tackles. There were sets there where we dominated pretty much every collision, and it just didn't allow the Panthers to get into their game. When you look at their game, it's very similar to ours, and we were able to implement our game better to stop them from doing theirs. Reminds me of that Bulldogs performance against us a couple of weeks ago, right? When you come up against teams that just nail everything, it's bloody hard to get yourself back into the game. And then on attack, I thought we were really balanced. So I don't buy that whole Panthers were off. They were off, but it's because we didn't allow them to be on, and that's what good teams do. And it's for the first time in a while where you've seen a Panthers team semi like that, right? They had that 10-minute period, and even Webby said if they'd scored that try, he would have been interested to see how we react. But when you wind the clock back, we had that exact same try disallowed against them earlier in the season, and it would have been interesting to see if that try was given to us, what the result could have looked like. So I think it comes down to the finest of margins when the best teams are playing. But I thought from top to bottom, leadership, attack, defence, we were damn impressive.
Yeah, and just another thing on the absences and stuff. Freddie Lussick had some good moments for the Panthers, and I know this is a silly set of 6, so we'll talk about the Warriors. But just to get on about the opponent, like, Freddie Lussick was good, but also Mitch Kenny is such an underrated aspect of their defence and attack and just the way he's sort of sets their line speed and their physicality, that it could have been a different game with him. Like,
for sure.
I think it's hard to say that they would have won. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there was aspects of this that made you feel, gives you confidence that we can compete with them, and we know we can beat them if we're at our best. But I'm still not going to get ahead of myself.
No, I'm not saying we're going to win the comp.
No.
I was saying that on Friday night as we won the game.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because I was caught up in the emotion, absolutely. But it fills you with confidence that if we rock up and play our game style to the level that we did on Friday night, like, there's not a lot other teams can do. No. Mitch Kenny would have suited that game.
Correct.
His line speed, everything would have suited that game. He loves those physical encounters. And I see people now saying, without Isaiah Yo, you can put a line through the Panthers. I think that's crazy. Yoey could well be back for finals footy. That's the latest update. No surgery. But at the same time, I think you throw Mitch Kenny, Dylan Edwards back in that team, and they're still McLean. Every bit a contender. Yeah, Casey McLean, there's another one there too. And Lindsay Smith can play 13. Liam Henry looks ready to start.
He's a good player too.
Yeah, Lindsay Smith's a damn good player. They will be more than fine. If anything, it forces Cleary to do even more, which he looked really good at doing in that 10-minute period when he took over that game. I had that 40-20 down here as one of the coolest things I've seen on the footy field.
And we were in a perfect angle for it because we were kind of behind them, but we could see what he was doing when he got the ball, and then the way he kicked it.
When you watch that set, you see him look a couple times. He's looking over. He's thinking there's an opportunity here. And what a play, what a time to do it as momentum's starting to turn. The ball drop, the angle that he drops it on kind of that 45-degree angle so that when it bounces, it kicks out.
Yeah.
He's the only guy in the comp that could do that. And
distance.
You bet your bottom dollar he practices that shit. They have said at training he practices the craziest kicks, and that makes him not crazy because he practices them and he nails them, and then he has the confidence to pull them out in a game. That was honestly so sick.
It was extraordinary.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And I've watched it back and it just gets better. And in the moment that they were in, like behind on the scoreboard, behind in every aspect of the game, really, to chuck your team on your back like that, I mean, geez.
After just scoring the try too, the first try. And Ali probably had some bad defensive issues there in that 10-minute period that led to them breaching us a few times there, but Cleary almost got them back into that game. So to say the Panthers are done is crazy. I just mean this more as a Warriors fan point of view and for the players, right? Like, that's a big emotional and mental hoodoo to get across. There's been so many times where we have been up for a game like this. It's been a semi-top of the table clash. Panthers have been missing players and we haven't come away with the result. To have a big occasion like this, haka, everything could be so overwhelming where we just rock up and not perform would have been so disappointing. To rock up and get the result and look so damn clinical for 70 minutes in doing so, I think it's a huge confidence boost for us. My tackle 3 were our effort areas. One of the most pleasing things for me, again, was our effort. When you look back at performances all throughout this year, effort always on display. In particular, though, it was when Penrith started to turn up the heat and they won that 10-minute period we were talking about. There were a few plays from guys that got us out of that momentum shift. It's been something that's been consistent for us all year. Our scramble D, our goal line defense, how often we have multiple guys making huge plays to save tries or potential tries, whether that be Chance or Tane at the back, Tamate Martin, one-on-one with Selwyn Cobbo. Remember him chopping him against the Finns to save a try. We had Tanner Smith that same game, pushing Cody Nikarima out in the corner. You could go back for days and highlight games, plays in every game basically where we've had efforts like that, but they are so important to our team in terms of our DNA. In this game, there was a period there for about 10 minutes into the second half where we defended our line for about 4 or 5 minutes. Dallin held up Isaiah Papali'i. From there, that's normally a try probably. That set, we also had to defend a howler of a forward pass. Lindsay Smith, we credited him before as being a great footballer. Webby referenced it as the second worst forward pass he has seen. I think he meant the first one was Reece Walsh in the prelim final, but that was crazy how we had to back that up and defend that. From that set, they then get a scrum for a knock-on against us. We continued to defend that. They come up with an error. That's what it's all about. That lifts the tone of the team. I also loved our kick chase. So often it's our middles leading the way. Mitch, Fish, Aaron, Eddie, Tanner, Jacko Ford was doing that when he was healthy. Kurt Capewell, Jacob Laban, they're always up there. And those are just pure effort plays from our forward pack when they should probably be under the most fatigue. There were 2 effort plays, though, from our co-skip, Fish, that I really wanted to highlight. The first one is the one that's been well documented all across socials. What a phenomenal play. For your prop to get back and make a potential try-saving play off the back of a line break from Milky Jenkins. That was crazy. That lifts the whole team, right? 7 minutes to go in the game for a middle forward to get back. There's not many players, let alone middles, that would come up with something like that. It is so easy for a prop, that stage of the game, under that much fatigue, to just turn and walk, but not Fish. And shout out to the rest of the team for getting back, because they then shifted the ball to the complete opposite side on tackle 5, and it resulted in us stopping them and a turnover. But that right there, that is what you signed James Fisher-Harris for, and he 100% delivered in that moment.
Yeah, there's 2 different aspects of that chase that's incredible. Like, tracking back's one thing, because you see a lot of forwards just track back towards the line and it's like, oh, I'll go under the posts and get ready, get my rest then, or I'll jog back, look like I'm chasing, put a little bit of an effort in and then stop when it looks like they're through and you're not going to get there. But then the understanding to gamble on it, make the run, sprint there, and understand that actually if someone slows them down a little bit or slows down the pass or someone gets a hand on someone, which slows down the play a little bit, I can actually get there.
Yeah,
and to actually gamble on it and think I can actually get there. It's not a half-assed, like, I'm going to jog over there and look like I'm
you're
working.
not just running for the sake of running.
He knew that he could get there if someone was to slow him down or make a little bit of a dodgy pass or something like that. So it's just elite mindset, work rate, and the tackle was incredible as well. So, yeah, big ups to Fish, but I just want to highlight the mindset of you can just run back. You've probably done it in rugby too, or like football where you're just running back and you're like, oh, shoot, I might get there. But he's working hard knowing that full well that if someone half stops him, I can get there and make that tackle.
Oh, for sure. The other moment he made came in the first half, and I actually think this one could be just as important. It actually led to Chanel Harris-Tavita's try off 2 amazing runs from Lekas. So 10 minutes to go in the first half. The Panthers have the ball on tackle 5. They've produced a pretty dangerous set on attack, and they've got a bit of a roll on. Jack Cole gets the ball on the last tackle, and he's looking to put in an attacking kick. Fish, though, he has other plans. His kick pressure here is so good, it forces Cole to step off his right foot and then rush a kick that was not executed to the level they would have liked. And I think it was a set play because you see Edgar screaming through. And if he had more time to execute that kick, I think it could have resulted in points. Then if not, a repeat set. Instead, Kurt Capewell gets back, catches it. Then off that, Lekas goes on his crazy run and does only what Lekas can do. But that kick pressure there from Fisher Harris on tackle 5 when we are under the pump literally potentially saved us from points and then led to points at the other end. When you look at the shift 2, that leads to Lekas' second break into the offload for the CHT try, it is Fish throwing that pass in that lock roll, in that ball playing middle roll that frees up Metcalf, which then gives the ball to Leka and in we go. So he's gone end to end, skill set on display, effort play on display in terms of the kick. If you go back and watch that kick, he literally steps off and then it looks awkward as he just dinks it through when his intentions were an attacking kick to potentially set up points. And it is plays like that that can literally turn a game. If it's 12-6 there, things look completely different. Instead, we end up scoring points down the other end. Off the back of Leka's greatness, like you can't argue that, but it starts with that play there and Capewell then catching that kick.
Yeah, different stories. Like there's people who do that on multiple occasions, but it's encouraging to see your skipper, someone who's not like that outspoken, not that outgoing, but leads by actions. When you hear coaches talk about captains, he just leads with his actions and stuff, you think, okay, like we've kind of just picked an experienced player that doesn't say much, but you see it with Fish that's the things they're highlighting in their field sessions and their video sessions. It's like, watch that, and it's Fish's work rate, his skill set, maybe the extras he's doing at training, just showcases what a leader actually is and the different types of leaders you can have. Because Fish doesn't say much, not on the press conference, not like just quietly spoken.
He wants to skip the press conferences. I saw Barney did that now that he's back too, right? But any chance he gets, he wants to skip them. I think Barney's the same. He talks a little bit more, but in terms of two captains to be like, follow me.
Yeah, it's great.
They're like the definition of that, right? In terms of tackle 4, our attack, to score 28 points against the best defensive team in the competition is extremely impressive, especially conceding they're averaging, 14 points conceded in a game? We doubled that, and I thought we looked very dangerous and balanced in doing so. It's only the second time they've conceded 28 points or more throughout the season. I think the Dogs was the other one when they bet them and scored 32. So the second highest points total put on the Panthers so far this year. We always knew we can knock the front door down. Our middles did that. Also love how we weren't afraid to shift the ball early too, even in the opening 10 minutes. Like I thought it was going to be more a fatigue thing, but we were moving the ball on tackle 2 pretty early. I also reckon we went at Cleary really early as well, and I love that. It's a smart play. Defending fatigues you, and if you can send bodies at him and make him get through a load of tackling early doors, then he is going to be fatigued at the back end of the game. He did have that 10-minute period where they got a momentum and got on a roll, but quite often you would see Fish angle out to get at Cleary on his carries. Capewell was doing the same, Leka the same too. When you look at Alamotti and Cleary, they missed 9 tackles combined, but they also had some where they lost the collision and they might have executed the tackle, but it was behind the gain line. I thought we were going to go harder at that other edge, but it ended up being Cleary's side where we got the most pay, and I think it was a really well thought out plan. Our kicking game, Luke Metcalf pulled the strings perfectly, short and long kicking game. His goal kicking was great too, which was really nice to see. But apart from the one where he tried to hit that spiral bomb and put it out on the full.
It just needed to be a high percentage play, that one,
Yeah, it did. And you get what he's trying to do there, right? He's trying to put real pressure on Edgar or To'o and make them come up with an error. Instead, he comes up with one. He didn't hit it right, but you'd almost rather you don't take the gamble. He was probably really feeling himself at that stage, though, so you could understand why he tried it. His short kicking game, though, having Leka in the centres certainly helps because he competes for everything, which you love to see. But I thought multiple times there he put kicks on a dime to target To'o in a shorter height. And then also the one where Dell came up with that beautiful offload in amongst 3 or 4 defenders for chance to score. I feel like that is the best our kicking game has looked since we lost Tanner Boyd. And it was quite nice, reassuring-wise, knowing that our goal kicking was going to be on too. So I thought those aspects were really good in our attack.
The spiral that he did try, I'm all for it,
Yeah.
Once he gets that right, and that sort of, like, they were down to 12, I think
they were down to 12.
I don't mind that. Like, it's a tough situation to be in because you either make the high percentage play and back your defense and plug them in that corner, or you go for the high percentage play because you're kind of allowed to because they're down to 12. So it's an interesting mix with that. With the left edge going down there and attacking Cleary, do you think it's more because of our edge with Leka and AKP, that's our stronger attacking edge? Or is it more that they were targeting Cleary? Because I get the feeling that they knew that Leka and AKP could do some damage if they go down there more than what maybe attacking Cleary. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. As soon as Blaze got scratched and it was cold there, I was even more like, let's go at them too, because he's a smaller body. So I think it was to go at Cleary with fatigue, but also you want to give AKP as much early ball as you can, same as Leka, right? Because they're both strikes that can break it open from anywhere. I just found it interesting. I haven't seen Fish on yardage chilling out that wide and kind of arcing out as much as he did in that first 10 minutes, which makes you think it was a clear plan. You see it quite a bit in Origin, right? Guys going directly at halves to try put fatigue in, and I think it was something they might have identified and thought, if we can make him do more work here than he normally would, we'll get a good result.
And also, if you attack left with AKP and Leka, right, and you make some yardage, you're then swinging right to the weaker edge.
Yeah.
So I guess they're thinking that that's the weaker edge maybe defending their line. So if they can get some reward going left with AKP and Leka on Cleary, fatiguing Cleary, and then they're swinging right.
Yeah, it lays a line right for them to come back with. No, it was a good tactic, I reckon. I thought our forward pack was so dominant in our carries, but again, the skill set on display was really nice to see. We had Clark scoring the first try with some nice footwork there and just pure determination. He just stepped Moses Leota and he went. There was also times where we had Mitch, Aaron and Fish all playing that ball, playing lock roll throughout different periods, depending who was on the paddock. You had your workhorses and Capes and Jacob Laban, and then you had Tanner and Eddie off the bench to keep the momentum going. So I thought that was a real statement performance from our forward pack too, because when you talk about dominant packs, right, that's the debate. Warriors, Panthers, Roosters, who's got the best, most dominant forward pack? And I think our lads took this as an opportunity to make a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the intent of everyone. And they all did their roles differently. Like, I love what Jakey Laban did at times and Aaron Clark. They sort of not switched roles, but I liked if one person brought line speed, the next one knew he had to get up and actually make the tackle properly. And I just love the mix of our forward pack. I think we got the rotation right. Fish came back on for that stint just before half-time. I rated that as well. And yeah, I just thought we got a lot of things right.
As soon as they started to get momentum in the back end too, the Panthers, Fish was up and in. Like, I love how Webby is like, let's pull the string now. Like, we cannot let them score more points without Fish being out there. And when they score points and they cross to the huddle, it's always Fish doing the talking, just telling them to be calm. So I think as well, having two 80-minute second rowers now in Capes and Laban allows us to get that middle rotation more dialed in. And it's only going to go up even more once Jacko Ford comes back. But imagine having Healy and then you go Tanner, Eddie, Jacko. That's crazy. As a 4 off the bench, that is insane.
And then also having Leka being able to go into
that's the thing,
second row.
Because you're not trying to find a 20-minute window there for Leka anymore. You can use his X factor the whole time. So we've got the balance right perfectly at the moment. I was going to touch on our backs, but I may as well roll into tackle 5 and go through our standout performers, because basically we cover the majority of the team here. It was hard not to find a player that played well. Morgan Gannon only got a handful of minutes, so he's probably the exception, right? But back 3, great. I thought Dallin, Chance in particular were massive again. Chance, 193 run meters, 53 PCMs, a try, 2 line breaks defensively, very good as well. And Dal, lower in run meters, had that try assist, ran hard all night though, and just his mindset and body on the line mentality, I think is huge. Leka, what can you say? Like, we've been big advocates, Leka at centre for a long time. I think this is probably the peak of where I thought it could get to, and it has come in week 2. He still has things to work on defensively. He would have been disappointed on that miss on Edgar, which led to points there. But at the same time, the X factor, and he is good defensively too, don't get me wrong. The X factor he brings us, 239 run meters, 73 PCMs, a line break, a try assist, 12 tackle breaks. He had those crazy highlight moments to split through Isaiah Yeo on a carry off our own line, then bump off and off-balance Nathan Cleary, and then to back that up with that offload later in that set to score points was just beautiful. His ability to have the ball in 2 hands and then transfer it so seamlessly into his left to unlock his right fend and then back into 2 hands, like, those are the micro skills that not a lot of second rowers would have. And I know he's played a bit of centre coming through the grades, but he's just such a naturally talented athlete. and his ability to break the game open at any time is unreal. I mentioned his kick threat because he's a leaper. He can get up. He's explosive. And then his yardage work, he can turn 2 carries from our outsides where we maybe don't get momentum. Him as that third carry, that can turn the whole momentum of the set. I love him as our first tackle option off a scrum too, just because it asks so many questions for defences. I think he's the perfect man for the job at the moment. He's only going to get better there too. But as soon as he gets one-on-one, and you can't not get one-on-one at centre, it is see you later.
I love the mix of his physicality and his pace and athleticism. Because he's a natural second rower, right? He's got that understanding of the physical aspects of the game, how he needs to be in the middle sometimes and make tackles and make big carries on fourth tackle, etc., etc. Defensively, very sound as well. I know he's got a couple of things to work on, but in general, very sound. But I think he's almost like, I'm not saying he's the perfect product at centre, but he's got the attributes to be sort of the ideal centre. He's got the pace, athleticism, but he's physical, right? You're not losing anything by having him at centre instead of second row. Like, you're moving that physicality and pace into second row could be great if you've got an elite centre. But because we don't technically have an elite centre, I love the physicality that he brings at left centre compared to maybe you kind of expect that physicality at second row, but now he's got the pace, the athleticism, he can break the game open, he's got that passing game, and yeah, I've just loved what he's doing, and I think, like Webby said in the post-match presser, oh, well, he'll play there next week.
Yeah, I love that.
that.
He was like, no one's guaranteed. The best players pick themselves, but Lekas will be there next week. And Mitch just laughed. The whole room laughed, really, right? Yeah. But getting him 80 minutes each week is a win. The fact that he's really good at this position is an extra bonus. And then also, I think people underestimate how much of a desire he has to get better. I've referenced it a couple times, but Dal said in the lead up to the finals game against Penrith last year, where Lekas was brought into the centres, that Lekas was probably the centre that he felt the most safest with that whole season, because Lekas came up to him when he found out he was playing centre, and he'd clipped up a whole bunch of clips from the Panthers, and he was like, when I see this picture, I'm going to do this. He's not just a natural talent. He has a real desire to get better, and he's actually a student of the game that does a lot of homework. So he's going to have some tough days at the office. Teams will look to try and expose him, and not everyone can be amazing every game. But I think it's certainly something worth sticking with, even if it's just the fact that we get him out there for the whole game, because he can turn something on at any stage. But also the fact that he just looks so comfortable and so damn good there. Him and AKP there. I think also having Capewell inside him defensively really helps too, because Capes is all-out effort, and they're quite a nice complementary pairing to each other, right? Lekas that power, and Capes is just that workhorse that can cover you if you're slightly off on your alignment, little things like that that will come with more time as an NRL level centre.
I love what Capes has brought. Like, I know he's an underrated aspect of our team. He does get a lot. It's a weird one because he doesn't get enough credit, but then also a lot of people do credit him for a lot of our good work, and I know the coaches and players love him. Yeah. His work rate, and he's not actually that slow. No. Like, he's not the quickest player. I'm not saying he's out and out speed. But he made a couple of little half breaks with a bit of pace, and like
he has more X factor than he's like. People think Capo and they think Battler, right?
Yeah, because I do too.
Yeah,
but I was impressed with him. He's awesome. He's awesome to have, and his kick chase and his work defensively, shooting out the line, his leadership, communication. Yeah, he's got it all really.
I think he is enjoying his time at the club more than he ever has, and I think it's resulted in the re-signing. But he seems so happy, like off the field too. The content with the Mully gang, all that type of stuff, like. It sounds stupid, but if you're happy in all aspects, your footy, you play better code for sure. And he seems like he's loving life at the Waz. Lukey Metcalf, what more can you say, really? I thought that ball he gave for Kurt Capewell was exceptional. I loved his try celebration, hitting the Jude Bellingham. He's referenced that he's a big Real Madrid fan and that Jude's pulled that out before, but there was a bit of a statement in that too, like, don't forget about me, I'm right here. We've mentioned his kicking game, the X factor he can bring, as well as his ball playing. To put in a performance like that, as I said, after just the captain's run, is pretty damn impressive. We are so blessed in the halves, and it will be interesting to see how it rolls out from here. But Metcalf certainly put his best foot forward. Again, lucky enough to speak with him after the game, and he just said if he gets more opportunities, he would be so grateful. So I think a lot of people stupidly questioned his commitment to the team, and I get why, but at the same time, he is a competitor that wants to win and wants to be that guy. I don't think he was ever going to fully throw his toys to the point where he would just be here and not give a shit. He is here and he wants to make the most of it, and he wants to show everyone that he is one of the best sevens going around, and you do that by performing well. He's had to wait for opportunities, but he's been so locked in, training at an elite level, because he knew at some stage he would get a chance. And if he takes his chance, it's going to be hard to take it off him. So well done to Luke.
Yeah, it was a much needed performance from him. Like, he got the chance. He probably wasn't going to get too many chances if he didn't take that.
No.
So, love what he did. His kicking game, conversions, just put confidence. Like, T's been a great player for us, and he's been good, and he's fit in seamlessly since Tanner Boyd's gone. But we just get more from Luke Metcalf, in my opinion. Am I a little bit too reactionary there?
It's tough. Like, Lukey had a great game. And
T's great, though. I'm not saying he's not.
No, they're very different. They're very different, and it depends what you're after, right? This is the best our kicking game has looked since Tanner Boyd. I said that for sure. And goal kicking wise, there's certain areas where he just brings you a different level of confidence. T has been exceptional. I will be interested to see what happens, and for me, it's all around how long Tamari is out for.
I don't think you can bring him back.
They've said 2 to 4 weeks. I think if it's 2 weeks, they'll bring him back. I think if it's 4 weeks, they won't.
Really?
Yep.
I think it'd be really, really hard to do that.
But it's funny because everyone was saying they don't want Metcalf until this weekend, and now everyone wants Metcalf.
Yeah, but
he was exceptional, yes.
T didn't get deserved to be dropped. He wasn't dropped.
T got us to 3rd, and we've looked amazing at times throughout that.
We've just beaten the Panthers, though.
I understand that, but would we have not, like, can you say that we wouldn't have bet them for sure if Tomato was there? I think Luke was outstanding for sure, but T, in terms of ball playing in that, was still right up there. It's a massive predicament.
It is hard.
And Luke was 100% an asset.
Yeah.
I'm a big Metcalf fan, always have been, and I've made that pretty clear. I don't know what Webby will do, though.
I disagree with you, but that's fine. I just think that now...
Would you be 100% certain that Webby would keep Metcalf there?
But
you're saying you would.
I'm saying, unless Metcalf, unless something extravagant happens where... Like, he doesn't play that great and we lose, and then T's back in 2 weeks. Like, that I would understand that.
Yep.
But let's say we win this weekend. Is it the Eels this weekend?
Nah, Broncos. Yeah, at Suncorp.
If we win that, right, and then the next week we win and it's a 3 week injury, you just can't bring him back.
I'm making it clear. I'm keeping Metcalf. Yeah, I'm saying I don't know what Webby would do.
Okay.
And if I'm brutally honest, I would look at the 6th jersey, and that's where the competition would become.
Yeah.
Because Chanel, exceptional defensively.
Was really good in the first 8 weeks.
Was really good, in the first 8 weeks. Was good on the weekend,
Not saying he's been bad. I'm just saying he
was good on the
really
weekend too. But Tumairi can do a job there too. T can also do a job off the bench. It's a great problem to have. Every 7 that has got to wear the jersey this year has taken its opportunity. I would stick with Luke.
I don't think you can change it.
I think come finals footy, kicking game really important too. But
conversions.
I don't know what Webby would do.
No, I agree. And he didn't really...
He didn't commit, and you can't ask him post-game.
Because you have to.
Yeah, but you don't know how long Tamari's out for, and he's not going to make the call in a post-game press conference.
No, he's not, but you've got to ask him after that game. What have he thought?
If Tamari was back this week, I wouldn't be shocked if he came straight back in, because Webby's whole thing has been like, he was the guy. I would keep Luke now, rolling forward.
You can't not.
T has been exceptional, and it's actually, it's a testament to Tamari that you're having these conversations.
But... Yes. But T, like the kicking game that we got from Luke Metcalf and the conversions in finals time, the X factor, like T's great. I don't want to come across as like I don't think he was a good player for us recently because he's been elite. But I just think the way it's all worked out with the injury, it would be different if T was dropped, which he wouldn't have been dropped, right? No. They weren't going to make that change unless something happened. But because it's happened now, Luke's taken his chance. That's just the way rugby league is, in my opinion. And I wouldn't change him, and I don't think Webby will.
Thoughts though, if he doesn't play well this weekend, the narrative will change very quickly.
Do we lose or do we win?
We need Tamari Martin back.
Do we win or do we lose and he plays bad?
Yeah, well, I guess that changes things too. But
because if we win and he doesn't have a great game, he still plays.
Yeah. It's fickle though, isn't it?
It is. It's tough.
It is very tough, and I think no one in that 7 jersey has deserved to be dropped, so it'll be an interesting call. I would keep Luke there off the back of the weekend.
When T's back, let's say it's a 2-week injury, Met has a good game on Saturday and we win, would you go T6, Lukey Met 7?
I'd look at it. But then that's a big call. because that changes the half dynamic.
And that's
completely.
dropping someone.
That's making two changes for the sake of getting someone back in, right? Which Webby has been very hesitant to do. It's going to be really interesting, though.
Yeah. I'm pretty strong on the Met thing, though.
Yeah, I don't think he would be as... I think it's a lot more 50-50 than that.
It would frustrate me heavily if T's back next week. Let's say Met has an okay game, does some good stuff, makes some errors, we win. T's back in 2 weeks, let's say he is, and they put Met back in. I would really struggle with that, Searley. I don't know, but I just would after what we've seen on Friday night. I would struggle with that.
My head goes back to those 2 average games he had earlier in the season and how quickly everyone wanted him out.
Yep.
It moves quickly. He was amazing on the weekend, and we look a whole lot better. We just bet the Panthers, 100%. I'm saying I would stick with it now, but I think it is a lot closer than people think. Because
fair enough.
In Webby's mind, T got them to here off the back of Tanner going down, and Luke's been there the whole time, but he hasn't used them. I don't know. It's going to be interesting going forward. Wayde Egan, I thought he was insanely good, and we sing his praises every week. The work he does around the ruck, his ability to engage markers, sit defenders, square us up, and then create opportunities for our halves and middles is crazy. That play that he ran with Chance with 5 minutes to go in the first half, that was one of my favourite plays of the game. An amazing display of skill to be able to just get out like that hip ball, deep into the half when there's fatigue. That was straight off the training paddock, but I thought they executed it perfectly. And I love to see plays like that. That is so creative. He was outstanding again in this week. I reckon he's the Form 9 in the comp.
If he stays fit, if he can continue walking.
You say that,
moving,
he's played every single game this year. And we were speaking about this. But amazing.
How many games has he gone off for an HIA?
Oh, there'd be a fair few. That one was for a cut on the head. He came back and played. Him and Aaron Clark, the only two to have played every game.
Yeah.
When you think about how physical Aaron is and how much work Wayde puts himself through his body.
Does he train during the week?
Wayde, I will say when you see him walk into the facility, you can tell his body has been put through the ringer. But yeah, he trains.
Willingly?
They all train. So Webby has said as well that has been one of the biggest shifts over the last couple of years is because this squad is a little bit younger and healthier, bodies at training. Like he said in the press conference after the game, trainings are harder than our games. And that's why they're playing so well at the moment. Or that's why they've been performing so well over the last couple of years, is that they get put through more at training than they do in games.
Wayde. I think it was unreal. It was unreal on the weekend, yeah.
Yeah, Laban, Capes, our middles, I feel like we've sung their praise already. Tanner and Eddie, again, exceptional off the bench. You could literally highlight the whole team, really. I thought Healy was really good off the bench too, but it just seems like a great night for the whole side. A few bad defensive jams from Ali in that 10-minute period where I didn't think he needed to jam in, but apart from that, a 9 out of 10 performance from the team overall. Amazing.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't be more proud, really. I just think defensively we showed up. Like, it's all well and good. Like, we know that the defense can show up. We know that they can scramble. But to have a genuine, really strong defensive performance and then a really strong attacking performance against such a good side just gives you confidence that not only can one aspect of our game, our forward pack, go really good, is that the other things can actually all come together. And it was sort of the performance that we've been wanting to get everything together into a game and go, this is what we can do. Yeah. And it was against the Panthers, which is so pleasing to see.
I think it's a great example of what Aaron Clark said after the Titans, where he was like, we haven't got our game on yet. And when we do, look out. And that was how the socials clip finished. And this was 70 minutes of us getting our game on.
We were 10 minutes of what we were doing for 70 minutes away from keeping the Panthers to 0.
Which is mental.
Like, we genuinely were. There was times there where I thought, I don't know where the Panthers are going to score here.
Yeah.
It was elite, man.
It was so good
but I'm not getting ahead of myself. But
no, we're not getting ahead of ourselves, but you do have to celebrate the win.
Correct.
In terms of the run home, looking forward for our tackle 6, this week's going to be interesting because the Panthers take on the Roosters on Thursday night, and that is a massive game. Roosters got through against the Dogs in a tight encounter. Panthers without Isaiah Yeo. They might have Edwards and Kenny. There's been no real chat around that.
Did you say Thursday or Friday?
They're playing Thursday night, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's elite. Thursday night code.
I'll double check it now, but I'm Thursday night.
It's a short turnaround.
9:50 p.m. Yeah, a short turnaround. Or they both played Friday night, so a slightly smaller window there. This game is going to be some game, though. Like, this has massive finals implications. If on Saturday night we can beat the Broncos at Suncorp, which will be a Warriors home game, and the Panthers get up, then we will move into second.
So do we want the Panthers to win?
I think we want the Panthers to win here.
Because some would say they'd rather the Roosters win.
Well, the Roosters also have the Dolphins to come, and I think we want them to lose both of those, and we go into that second
You are
spot.
right, because it's the top two that we need.
Yeah, it's top two.
Let's just get the top two. For the minor premiership will come if the minor premiership comes, not searching for that.
We're staying top four, hopefully. It's still very tight, but we would have to lose probably 2 of the run home.
How many left?
We've got 4. So we
should win 3.
Bronx this week, Bunnies next week, both in Australia. Both not easy games to pick up, but we should beat the Bronx, and that Bunnies one will be really interesting.
They'll have a couple of calf
injuries.
injuries.
Too, but
they'll have a couple of calf
surely,
injuries.
right?
We should beat them.
Then we got the Knights at home on a Sunday arvo. That'll be a good contest, but again, I would back us to beat them. And then we finish with Manly, which on recent form, that's a dub.
But that's also a tougher game, I feel, than what it probably looks on paper.
Yep, but if we are...
if we've won 2 out of
If we're taking that Bulldogs as a turning point for our season and what we've produced since then, we should beat all of those teams.
I think we're going to lose one before the end of the year. Yep. And did you see what, I'm sure we'll get into the actual pod, the review pod, but did you see what Craig Fitzgibbon said after the Sharks game about how he didn't agree with the journo who said, do you believe you've got to lose one before the finals to actually win the comp? But he sort of suggested that it's not actually as bad of a thing. They just weren't good, and you sometimes need that kick.
We spoke about that, right?
Is that too early, that Bulldogs game? Do we need one more of those? I'm throwing it out there. I'm not saying that I
by the way, Dell and that spoke about it after the game. That was like the wake-up call we needed type of thing, because we had been cruising for a bit there, like 70%, and that Dragons loss Dragons close win, all of a sudden seems like a great result the week before the Dogs lost, but I think it kicked us into another gear. I'd like to see us kick on from here and just keep banking momentum, because I do think top 2 is ideal.
Yeah, you need that week off.
Just for that week 1. I do think if we finish 3rd, Roosters, or whoever finishes 2nd, that trip to Sydney doesn't scare me.
To play the Roosters?
Yeah. If we were 3rd, they were 2nd, that trip to Sydney doesn't scare me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play the Panthers.
Nah. Although they might be without Isaiah Yeo. It's funny how quickly things can change, but they will have Kenny and Edwards back by then, and Yeo could be back too, and McLean. Yeah, I would rather 2 or 3.
Because that would just be the game for the week off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And then the home. So, like, if we get that home prelim, if you win.
Yeah, wow.
But I would back us to go to Sydney, beat the Roosters, week off, home prelim.
Yeah, I'd say, would you say we'd be underdogs?
Yeah, we would be because the Aussies love to make us underdogs, but I would feel confident.
I'd be slightly confident. Like, I'd say it'd be pretty even and just confident. Just because it's going to Sydney.
Maybe it shows where I'm at on the chook still, but yeah.
It does. And I can see why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just who plays well in that game, right? It's both teams are capable of their best footy. It's just who's going to do it and when it matters. And we can't really sit here and say we're a finals footy team who always turns up in finals, can we? We're kind of at this place where we're looking really good. We've still got to see it at that level, you know?
Man, if we can go top 2, win that first, and then home prelim, fuck. That'll be absolutely insane. Yep. But it's funny how quickly things turn, right? And if we can just take care of our 4 games, other results will happen. Upsets are going to happen, and teams above us are going to lose games. In particular, though, I think we target the Chooks to jump them. I hope Panthers beat them. I hope the Finns beat them, and then we will finish in 2nd if we take care of our own.
Yeah, Teddy back this week, I would have thought.
You'd think so. That's going to be a heck of a game on the Thursday night. So looking forward to that. Run home, though, does look pretty favourable for us. We just need to take care of our own stuff now. And we're going to get players back, which is exciting too. So, Warriors fans, that was a bit of an in-depth one, and we'll talk more about the other results in the full review podcast that will drop later on. But overall...
Happy days, eh?
Happy days. Let's just enjoy it. Like everyone says, don't get carried away. We're not getting crazily carried away, but what a result.
I want to hear about where you were. What is this going to be one of the games where you're like, where were you when we beat the Panthers at home? Like,
I think so.
Like, let us know in the comments what you're thinking, how many fist pumps were going on, and
holy shit. Media release, breaking news. PNG Chiefs sign Brian To'o.
Really?
Yep. One of rugby league's most respected players, Brian To'o, will join the PNG Chiefs as player number 6.
I guess that sort of makes sense with Jerome Luai.
Zach Lomax, Joey Manu, potentially. Brian To'o, AJ. AJ's not even going to make the team.
And then what about
I guess
what
Lomax
about the old
gets
Southern
his
Orcas
wish of playing in the centres, right?
And are we going to talk about them in the review pod?
Yeah, we're going to talk about them
okay.
in the review pod too.
How good Warriors
A
fans.
joke. Go the Wars.